If you're over 60 and taking laxatives regularly, you could be making your constipation worse, and I have the clinical studies to prove it. For many seniors, constipation has become a source of anxiety, embarrassment, and genuine fear. You've tried everything your doctor recommended: Metamucil, Miralax, even prescription medications. You've spent hundreds of dollars on fiber supplements that make you feel bloated. You've suffered through harsh stimulant laxatives that left you cramping and rushing to the bathroom at the worst possible moments. I've spent years researching digestive health specifically for people over 60, and I can tell you that everything we've been taught about treating constipation is backwards. The medical community has been overlooking the most effective solution, one that's been hiding in plain sight in your grandmother's kitchen. What if I told you there's a simple, natural solution that clinical trials have proven works better than the leading fiber supplement? What if I told you it's something your grandmother probably swore by, but modern medicine dismissed as an old wives' tale, until recently, when peer-reviewed studies proved she was right all along? If you've been struggling with constipation for more than 3 months, type "help" in the comments right now. I want to know how many of you are dealing with this frustrating problem, because today's video is going to change everything for you. Every day, 50% of community-dwelling seniors over 60 struggle with constipation. In nursing homes, that number jumps to 74%. That's not normal aging. That's a healthcare crisis we're not talking about. You probably think the solution is more fiber, more water, more expensive supplements. But here's what shocked me when I dug into the research. The most widely recommended fiber supplement actually performed worse than this one simple fruit in head-to-head clinical trials. I know how this affects your entire life. You avoid social gatherings, you worry about traveling, you feel uncomfortable in your own body. Some of you have told me you feel like prisoners in your own homes. Today, I'll share the one natural solution that outperformed prescription treatments in clinical studies, why it works so much better for aging bodies, and exactly how to use it safely with your existing medications. Let's start with what most of you are probably doing right now, and honestly, I don't blame you because this is exactly what I would have recommended just a few years ago. You're taking something like Metamucil, Citracel, or Miralax because your doctor said it's safe and natural. Sound familiar? Maybe you've even graduated to the stronger stuff like Senna or Dulcolax when those gentle options stopped working as well as they used to. And this seems perfectly logical, doesn't it? I mean, these are what medical professionals recommend. Pharmacists sell them right over the counter without a prescription, and they're specifically marketed for people our age. The packaging shows happy, active seniors. The commercials talk about gentle, predictable relief, and your insurance might even cover some of them. You've probably got a cabinet full of different brands you've tried over the years. But here's what nobody tells you at the pharmacy counter, and what I wish I had understood earlier in my career. Here's what's really happening inside your body when you take stimulant laxatives like Senna, Dulcolax, or X-Lax. And I want you to really picture this, because once you understand this mechanism, you'll never look at these products the same way again. Imagine your intestinal muscles are like a 65-year-old construction worker who's been doing the same physically demanding job for decades. He's experienced, he knows what he's doing, but naturally, he's not quite as strong or as fast as he used to be. Now, stimulant laxatives are like a harsh supervisor who comes in and starts forcing violent, unnatural contractions, essentially whipping that tired worker to move faster, work harder, ignore his natural rhythm. Yes, it gets the job done in the short term, the work gets completed, you get relief. But think about what happens to that worker over time. He becomes dependent on that harsh supervision. His natural work rhythm gets disrupted. Eventually, he stops responding to normal encouragement and needs stronger and stronger motivation just to do what used to come naturally. According to a 2019 study in the American Journal of Gastroenterology, up to 40% of people who use stimulant laxatives regularly develop what's called cathartic colon. Essentially, your intestines forget how to work on their own. You know what I mean? It's like your digestive system goes on strike. Now here's where it gets really concerning for people over 60. And this is the part that keeps me up at night as a healthcare provider. After age 60, your body already has what we call reduced colonic motility. That's the natural wave-like contractions that move waste through your system. It's not your fault. It's just biology. You also have decreased rectal sensitivity, which means you don't feel that normal urge to go as strongly as you used to. Think about it. How many times have you thought, I should probably try to go, rather than feeling that natural, urgent signal? That's completely normal aging, but it sets you up for problems. When you add harsh stimulant drugs to an already compromised system, you're creating what I call a perfect storm of dependency. You're not supporting your body's natural function. You're actually weakening it further. It's like giving someone with a sprained ankle a pair of crutches, then making them run marathons on those crutches every day. Eventually, the leg muscles atrophy completely. Now maybe you're thinking, well, I don't take the harsh stuff. I use Miralax or magnesium products. Those are gentler, right? And I understand that logic completely. These osmotic laxatives work by pulling water into your intestines, kind of like a sponge that keeps expanding inside your digestive tract. But here's the hidden danger that most seniors don't realize. You're already at higher risk for dehydration as you age. Your kidneys don't concentrate urine as efficiently. Many of you take medications like blood pressure pills or diabetes medications that affect fluid balance, and let's be honest, most seniors don't drink enough water to begin with. A 2020 study from Johns Hopkins found that seniors using osmotic laxatives had a 23% higher risk of electrolyte imbalances, which directly increases fall risk. And we all know how dangerous falls can be after 60. They're the leading cause of injury-related death in our age group. So you're taking something to feel better, but unknowingly increasing your risk of something far more dangerous. Plus, here's something your pharmacist probably didn't mention. These products can interfere with nutrient absorption. You might be taking excellent supplements, eating a healthy diet, but that magnesium-based laxative could be preventing your body from properly absorbing the calcium you need for bone health. Here's a crucial self-assessment I want you to do right now. And be honest with yourself, because your health depends on it. If you're taking any stimulant laxative more than twice a week, you may already be developing dependency. If you've noticed you need higher doses to get the same effect, or if the time between doses is getting shorter, that's your body sending you a clear signal that it's losing its natural ability to function. And here's another red flag. If you feel anxious or worried when you run out of your usual laxative, or if you find yourself stockpiling different brands just in case, you're already psychologically dependent, even if you don't realize it. I want to hear from you right now. Type trapped in the comments if you feel like you're stuck in this cycle of needing stronger and stronger laxatives, or if you've tried to stop using them and couldn't. Don't feel embarrassed. You're definitely not alone in this. And if you're ready to learn about a solution that actually makes your digestive system stronger instead of weaker, give this video a thumbs up. Because what I'm about to share next is going to completely change how you think about treating constipation naturally. Now, maybe you're one of the smart ones who looked at all those harsh laxatives and said, "No way, I'm going natural." You avoided the chemical stuff and went straight to fiber supplements like Metamucil, Citracel, or Benefiber. And honestly, I completely understand that logic. These products are marketed as natural. Your doctor probably recommended them as the safe choice, and they're supposed to work gently without all the side effects. So you mix that orange powder into your morning routine, maybe with your coffee or juice, religiously take those capsules with dinner, and wait for the relief that's supposed to come. You're doing everything right, following the directions on the package, maybe even exceeding the recommended dose because more fiber must be better, right? But here's what's probably happening. Weeks or even months go by, and you're still struggling. Maybe you feel more bloated than before. Maybe you're getting gas pains that you never had. Maybe you're drinking more water like the package says, but you still feel uncomfortable and irregular, and you start wondering, am I doing something wrong? Is my body just broken? Well, let me tell you something that's going to surprise you. And frankly, it surprised me too when I first discovered this research. Here's the study that completely changed how I think about fiber supplements, and it should change how every doctor approaches constipation in seniors. In 2011, researchers at the University of Iowa published a clinical trial in Alimentary Pharmacology and Therapeutics. That's one of the most respected gastroenterology journals in the world. When this journal publishes something, doctors pay attention. They took 40 adults with chronic constipation, people just like you who had been struggling for months or years, and split them into two groups. One group got 22 grams of psyllium daily. Now, that's the active ingredient in Metamucil, and 22 grams is the gold standard dose that doctors recommend. The other group? They got approximately 10 to 12 prunes daily. That's it, just whole prunes. Now I have to tell you, when this study started, I would have bet money on the psyllium group. I mean, we're talking about a scientifically formulated, standardized fiber supplement versus fruit. It seemed like a no-brainer, right? After 8 weeks of careful monitoring, the results weren't even close. The prunes didn't just work a little better. They significantly outperformed the psyllium in both frequency and quality of bowel movements. We're talking about measurable, statistically significant improvements that couldn't be explained by chance. But here's the part that really got my attention. The researchers were so impressed with these results that they concluded, and I'm quoting directly here, that dried plums should be considered as a first-line therapy for constipation. Think about what that means. They're saying doctors should recommend prunes before recommending the fiber supplements that we've been pushing for decades. A follow-up systematic review in 2014 looked at multiple studies and confirmed these findings. The evidence was so clear that researchers stated prunes appear superior to psyllium for improving stool frequency and consistency. Not equal to, superior to. Now here's the part that really opened my eyes, and it explains why so many of you have tried fiber supplements without success. There are specific physiological changes that happen after age 60 that make these products much less effective and sometimes even counterproductive. First, your body produces 40% less saliva and stomach acid after age 60 compared to when you were 30. Why does this matter? Because fiber supplements need adequate moisture and digestive enzymes to work properly. When you dump that dry psyllium powder into an aging digestive system that's already struggling with decreased secretions, you're essentially asking your body to do something it's no longer well-equipped to handle. Second, your natural hydration status changes as you age. Your kidneys don't concentrate urine as efficiently, you don't feel thirsty as readily, and many medications affect fluid balance. The package says, drink 8 glasses of water daily. But be honest, how many of you actually do that consistently? And even if you do, your body may not be processing that water as effectively as it used to. Here's the analogy that really drives this home. Imagine trying to push a dry sponge through a narrow tube. That's essentially what happens when you add dry fiber powder to a digestive system that's already struggling with moisture and motility. Instead of helping things move along smoothly, you can actually create a traffic jam that makes constipation worse. And there's another problem that nobody talks about. Fiber supplements can bind to medications and nutrients. If you're taking heart medication, blood pressure pills, or important vitamins, that psyllium powder might be preventing proper absorption. You could be doing everything right nutritionally, but that fiber supplement is working against you. Here's something that really bothers me about the fiber supplement industry. These products are marketed with images of happy, active seniors, promises of gentle, predictable relief, and claims about being doctor recommended. But nowhere on the package does it tell you that clinical studies show whole prunes work better. You're paying $15 to $25 per month for a product that's been proven less effective than something you can buy in the produce section for $5. And here's the kicker. Insurance companies will sometimes cover fiber supplements, but not fresh produce. The system is literally incentivizing you to choose the less effective option. I want you to think about this honestly for a moment. How much money have you spent on different fiber supplements over the past year? How many different brands have you tried, hoping the next one would finally work? How many times have you stood in the pharmacy aisle reading labels, trying to figure out which one might be better than the last one that disappointed you? Type powder in the comments if you've been faithfully taking fiber supplements, maybe for months or even years, but you're still struggling with irregular, uncomfortable bowel movements. I want to know how many of you are dealing with this frustration. And here's what I really want you to do. Share this video with someone who's spending their hard-earned retirement money on expensive supplements that science has proven don't work as well as a simple, natural alternative. They deserve to know there's a better way that's not only more effective, but also more affordable. Because what I'm about to show you next is going to completely change how you approach digestive health. And it's something your grandmother probably could have told you decades ago. So what should you do instead? I know I've probably shattered your confidence in what you're currently taking, and I don't want to leave you feeling hopeless. My goal isn't to scare you, it's to share what actually works. The answer isn't another pill, powder, or prescription. It's not some exotic superfood or expensive supplement. It's something that's been helping people for generations. Something your grandmother might have sworn by. Something so simple that modern medicine overlooked it for decades. I'm talking about prunes, and before you roll your eyes and think that's just an old wives' tale, let me share the fascinating science that proves your grandmother knew something that doctors are just now rediscovering. Let me tell you about Eleanor, a 72-year-old grandmother who came to me after 3 years of digestive misery. She'd tried every fiber supplement on the market, spent over $50 a month on various laxatives, and was so uncomfortable she'd stopped babysitting her grandchildren because she was afraid of having an accident or being in pain while chasing after them. Eleanor was skeptical when I suggested the prune protocol. She said, "Doctor, I tried prune juice years ago and it didn't work." But I explained that whole prunes work differently than juice, and we started her on just 3 prunes each morning with her oatmeal. Within 8 days, Eleanor had her first comfortable, complete bowel movement in months. After 4 weeks, she called me crying, but they were tears of joy. She said, "I feel like I have my life back. I can plan activities with my grandchildren again. I'm not afraid to leave the house." Prunes work through 3 distinct mechanisms that no pharmaceutical laxative can match. It's like having 3 different medications working together, but completely natural and safe. Mechanism number 1, intelligent fiber system. Prunes contain 9.5 grams of fiber per 100 grams serving. That's about 10 prunes, but unlike supplement powders, this fiber comes packaged with natural moisture and nutrients. Think of it as fiber that's already been pre-soaked and ready to work gently in your system, rather than dry powder that needs to absorb water from your already dehydrated digestive tract. Mechanism 2, natural sorbitol, nature's Miralax. Prunes contain 12 to 15 grams of natural sorbitol per serving. Sorbitol is what we call an osmotic agent. It draws water into your intestines to soften stool. But here's the key difference. Synthetic sorbitol in products like Miralax can cause rapid water shifts that lead to cramping and urgency. Natural sorbitol in prunes works gradually, giving your body time to adjust. Mechanism number 3, phenolic compounds. The missing piece? This is the part that amazed me most. Prunes contain compounds called chlorogenic acids that actually stimulate your colon's natural contractions. Unlike harsh stimulant laxatives that force violent spasms, these natural compounds work with your body's existing nerve pathways to restore healthy, rhythmic motility. As we get older, our digestive systems need gentler, more comprehensive support. Prunes provide what I call intelligent relief. They only work when and how your body needs them to work. You won't experience the cramping urgency that can be dangerous for seniors, and you won't develop dependency. Remember how I mentioned dehydration is a major issue for seniors? The natural water retention mechanism in prunes helps maintain proper moisture in your digestive tract without overloading your kidneys or affecting your electrolyte balance. Unlike laxatives that just treat symptoms, prunes provide 732 milligrams of potassium per serving for heart health, antioxidants for cellular protection, and even some vitamin K for bone health. You're not just treating constipation, you're nourishing your entire body. Don't make the mistake of going from 0 to 10 prunes on day 1. Your digestive system needs time to adjust. Start with 2 to 3 prunes with your breakfast for 3 days. If you tolerate them well, no cramping, no excessive gas, increase to 4 to 5 prunes for the rest of the first week. In week 2, you'll find your personal effective dose, which is usually between 4 to 8 prunes daily. I recommend splitting them, half at breakfast, half at dinner. This gives you steady, comfortable relief without overwhelming your system. Senior-specific preparation methods. For those with chewing difficulties, soak whole prunes in warm water for 10 minutes until they're soft and easy to chew. For easy digestion, blend prunes with a small amount of water to make a puree. Mix it into yogurt, oatmeal, or smoothies. For convenience, chop prunes into small pieces and add them to your cereal, oatmeal, or even mix them into cottage cheese. Budget-friendly shopping. Buy organic, sulfur-free prunes in bulk. Store them in airtight containers at room temperature. They'll keep for 6 to 12 months and cost about $3 to $5 per week versus $15 to $30 for prescription laxatives. If you're managing diabetes, prunes are actually helpful. They have a moderate glycemic index of 39, and 3 to 4 prunes contain only 12 to 16 grams of natural sugars, balanced with fiber, that helps regulate blood glucose levels. With their high potassium content and 0 sodium, prunes actually support cardiovascular health rather than stressing your system like some laxatives can. Unlike some high vitamin K foods that interfere with blood thinners, prunes are safe with most senior medications. Just take them 2 hours apart from any medications that need to be taken on an empty stomach, and increase your water intake when you start. But doctor, aren't prunes just an old wives' tale? That's exactly what I thought until I read the research. The journal Alimentary Pharmacology and Therapeutics, one of the most respected gastroenterology publications in the world, has published multiple studies confirming that prunes are superior to standard fiber supplements. This isn't folk wisdom anymore. It's peer-reviewed, clinical evidence. Won't eating prunes every day make me dependent? This is the beautiful part. Natural fiber and sorbitol don't create dependency like pharmaceutical stimulants.
Overall,
in fact, the phenolic compounds in prunes help restore your body's natural motility patterns. You're not overriding your system, you're supporting it. What if I have diabetes or IBS? For diabetes, the fiber in prunes actually helps stabilize blood sugar. For IBS, start with just 1 to 2 prunes daily, since some people with severe IBS are sensitive to sorbitol. Always listen to your body and adjust accordingly. Type ready if you're willing to try this natural approach for just 2 weeks to see how your body responds. Share this video with a friend or family member who's been struggling. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most powerful. Here's exactly what you can expect. Days 1 to 3, you might not notice dramatic changes. That's completely normal while your body adjusts. Days 4 to 7, most people start seeing softer, more comfortable stools. By week 2, you should have regular, easy bowel movements that don't require straining or rushing. Knowledge truly is your best medicine. You now know something that many doctors don't emphasize enough. That sometimes the most effective treatments aren't the newest or most expensive ones. Sometimes they're the ones that have been helping people for generations, waiting for science to catch up and prove what worked all along. You're never too old to reclaim control over your digestive health and feel comfortable in your own body again. Your grandmother wasn't just being old-fashioned when she recommended prunes. She was being scientifically accurate, decades before the research existed to prove it. I want to hear from you in the comments. What's one change you're going to make this week based on what you learned today? And in a month, come back and tell me how you're feeling. I love celebrating success stories with this amazing community. If this video opened your eyes to a new possibility for better digestive health, please subscribe for more honest, research-based health advice specifically created for people over 60. I'm not here to sell you expensive supplements or complicated protocols. I'm here to share what actually works for real people dealing with real problems. What questions do you have about starting the prune protocol safely? What other digestive concerns would you like me to address in future videos? Your questions and experiences help me create content that truly serves this incredible community of health-conscious seniors.